Greetings, people of the greater world! Broadcasting live from the Academy at the largest library in the known realms, this is Storytime Q&A, a Realm Jumper talkback show. I've come to make an announcement. More accurately, I've come to talk about episode 6 of Realm Jumper, Enemy of My Enemy. Joining me today, I have, once again, the lovely Midnight.
Hello.
And for the first time on this lovely podcasting show, we have one of our audio editors, Kara.
Hello.
Once again, all of our questions come from the Realm Jumper public Discord channel, so please join that if you would like to ask questions to us. But yeah, should we get right into it?
For sure.
Yeah.
Let's start with this. Hi, Kara. This is your first time on this, and you're also, well, this is the second time we've had an editor on this show, but apparently this is your first time audio editing anything, or this is the first time you've been audio editing anything for Realm Jumper. What's that been like? This is from radio. Like, what has that experience been like, and what made you want to try it out?
This is actually my second time audio editing for RJ specifically, but
Oh.
It is my first time in general doing like any sort of audio work. Like I hadn't done it previously. It's been really fun. I'm really having fun like with all the background music, picking out the voice lines. Like sometimes I just act out some of the character lines to get so I can know which lines I want specifically. Like sometimes I look at like for example for Jens, I kept on hearing Midnight's voice and being like, "Come on, give me your DM voice right here, right now. Be mysterious, bitch." And I also it's and also I just like the fine tune of like finding like sound effects and stuff. Like I have some weird stories with those.
Oh yeah, I want to press that a little bit. As someone who is as a former film nerd and has had to deal with audio with sound libraries, what is I am intrigued to know like what your experience with like picking out specific sound effects for certain things.
Yeah, I try to find like ones that I feel like work with the movement or like if I could imagine it on stage, like how it would work and how it would sound. Like if there's like any sort of weird sound effects, like if I hear too much wind, I will be like, no, that's not good enough. If I hear like there was one point where I kept on trying to find footsteps, but it would either be too windy, I would hear keys, I would hear too much gravel, or sometimes the person breathing, and I'd just be like, get the fuck out of here. One of my favorite ones was trying to find wet footsteps for episode 4, and I could not find it until I realized one of my friends used a soundboard of wet meat, like meat slaps, and I was just like, that sounds so wet. Wait, that works for footsteps.
Oh my
Discord soundboard coming in to save the day.
So yeah, Luther's footsteps are just meat sound effects.
Oh.
So sorry.
Oh man.
I'm never going to listen to episode 4 the same way again.
We've taken a deep dive off into Cursed already in this episode. From the wonderful world of Foley editing to the wonderful world of writing. This episode had some heat to it, Midnight.
It did! A little spicy. We're warming up, besties.
Apollo, a lot of it surrounding your character, Jen. From Apollo, how's your experience been for both writing and acting, especially in regards to Jen?
So listen, Jen's a little fucked up. She's a little fucked up. For real though, I got this episode partially because I understand Jen really well. It comes part and parcel with acting as her. I feel like if you act as a character, like you voice them, you start to get in their head a lot more. And so part of the reason I was slated to write this episode, Part of the reason was that I knew Jen really well, and we really had to get the Jen Charlie scenes right in this episode. It's very Jen and Charlie are two of the characters. No, we haven't had trouble writing them, but we have to be very careful with them. Those scenes had to have a lot of weight to them, and they're the scenes I spent the longest writing. Um, they have to be perfect. They have to convey the right emotions, which makes them really fun to voice. Since because I write it, I can hear in my head how I think it is supposed to sound, and then when I get to voice it, then it sounds right, and it's great. It's a lot of fun.
That's I find oftentimes whenever I'm writing whenever I'm writing like block text for stuff, I find
Mm-hmm.
and also just any dialogue or like trying to figure that out. Like it's always good to speak it.
Oh yeah, no.
Is that something, especially like in regards to like Jen specifically, are you actively speaking your lines while you're writing them down?
Certainly not while I'm writing. Not while I'm writing them down, just because usually when I'm writing them down, I'm in like the writing state.
Oh,
I'm human. I'm going.
the zone. I
But
see.
certainly, we do a bit of self editing, in the writers' room for Realm Jumper. The other writers, will help us edit as well. Um, and help add lines here and there. The announcement, which I'm sure we will get to talking about later on, is actually a B and me collaboration. Certainly for like editing purposes, it's absolutely a good idea to say the lines out loud just to make sure that they make sense and they flow better. Sometimes things look better written, and then you speak them out loud, and you're like, "Wow, no human head would ever say those words in that order." Wow, I can't believe I've done this. Uh,
Oh.
and just sometimes sentences are clunkier than they need to be, or just if you were to rearrange the parts of the sentence, it flows better. Um, it's part of the reason why also that sort of improv is a little bit encouraged in Realm Jumper. If the actors get their lines and like, oh, the line flows better if I say this, if this part of the sentence here, and just flip it. That's if it flows better, it flows better.
Oh yes, and yeah, the announcement, of course.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get back to that. Let's swing it back over to Kara for a second. From Exodus, you did a really good job audio editing. They are wondering if you're interested in like pursuing audio editing going forward after this episode. This is a new world for you. Is there anything that excites you kind of about that? Is there any like projects? I know a lot of people within Realm Jumper also work on things like podcasts and other things like that. What are your ideas on like how you want to expand the skill set?
I definitely want to do more. I think right now keeping it to RJ just little by little, because I also have other tasks with my own life, but it's honestly really fun. I enjoy it a lot. What is the biggest payoff is more so hearing all the actors come together, hearing them bounce off one another, especially since none of the actors are actually seeing each other in person, bounce like actually like acting with one another most of the time. It's fun to be able to like mesh it all together and be like have this cohesive piece. Like one of my favorite ones this episode was hearing like Luther and Gil like talk at each other because it's just you have this like you kind of have a Luther just like, oh, it's all right, we got this, and Gil is just like, I'm so tired. Where is this fucking fish?
It's a fish hunt.
hmm
Uh,
But I definitely want to look into a bit more. It's with stuff like that. It has a nice. I have a lot of fun with the final project. And I do want to do more.
Audio editing is something I that so hard to wrap my head around in some instances, at least especially on something on the scale of like, oh yeah, what it basically amounts to an episode of an animated series.
It's the OCD. That's how it
But yeah, it is insane that the quality of the audio edit that we get out of out of all of the people that work on the editing in this show. It's amazing. Once again, from the lovely Queen Creeps, Midnight.
Hi.
What are your actual opinions on Ryder?
What are my actual opinions on Ryder? Okay, no, I don't hate Ryder.
Yes, okay. This is good to hear.
To be clear, Jen just she's got a couple issues with his existence.
Okay.
Just a little. She's of the opinion that if he was not there, life would be better and she would be happier. Um, and she's just incredibly driven to make that happen.
Oh boy.
As an older sibling, I can respect it.
No. There is, of course, a certain degree of separation. I think Ryder's a great character. I love his character design. He's a detective cat boy. I love the detective trope.
Detective Catboy. That is, I can't believe that has never come up. Just Detective Catboy. That needs to be that. That needs to be more prevalent in the discussion of Ryder.
It's a new nickname. I'll have Charlie say that. I'm not writing this episode. I'll have Charlie say that at some point.
Oh my god.
Juno is helpfully putting in the chat for me that she's homophobic and gay at the same time. And listen, she is. She's special like that.
Oh man. Oh, the announcement.
We do.
Oh,
We do
yes.
Yeah.
The thing we started this show with that I completely forgot about.
Yes.
So, yes.
It's an ending announcement.
Yes, an ending
True.
announcement. It's not an announcement for anything in particular, but it's about the announcement. If I remember correctly, there is a take, and I believe Spy has discussed this in the chat at some point, but there is an ad-lib take of the announcement alongside the original announcement reference to
Yeah. Yeah, there's two.
Yeah.
So originally, I don't think I have to explain this to a lot of people, but I will explain it to some people. So the whole announcement is a Snapcube reference.
Yes.
It is a reference to Eggman pissing on the moon.
Yeah. I'm just gonna atone for our sins right now. Just hold on.
Yes, you better. That is the reason that Snapcube is a banned word in the Realm Jumper cast server. Is because, it was so long ago. It was the start of show. Sorry, words. At the start of the show, we had made a whole bunch of Snapcube references. I think a new one was coming out at the time, or it was what we were talking about all in the writer's room. And it was really funny. I mean, Snapcube is very funny. 10 out of 10. Do enjoy. You guys should watch it.
Oh my god, it's...
We realized someone, I think it was B, made the joke that what Realm Jumper character would, say the announcement. And it was unanimous that it was Nemo. And that Nemo had to be the one to say that. And that come hell or high water and the screaming of bubbly tarts, we were going to make Nemo do an announcement.
So it was a meme that warped the plot of the show around it.
Yes, to be fair to us, he did need to make a declaration of that he was going to flood the academy and pretend to be this threat.
Might as well do it in style.
Yeah. Might as well do it in style, and he has to do it. He has to do it in stuff. There was other jokes that was gonna be there about Nemo that ended up getting cut. I guess I can talk about this. So it used to be one of the jokes is that Nemo never made any of his own decisions. That he would just roll a dice. And and just do what the dice told him. And this was originally because it was going to be a background plot of the D&D episode.
Okay.
So anytime the characters would roll a dice, Nemo would also be rolling a dice to see what he was going to do, and he was going to call it the decision cube. Which is a really, really, really funny joke that never made it in because we had to restructure the episodes.
Oh my god.
But I need people to know that canonically, Nemo uses a decision cube to make all decisions. because they're a disaster.
Oh, jeez.
We didn't want to do a copy paste of the Eggman announcement because we could and just had followed the exact same cadence, but we wanted to put our own spin on it. We needed them to hit certain points. We needed the credible, I say in big air quotes, credible threat that they were going to flood the academy with a non-existent water source to be there. So we did have to rewrite the whole thing. Spy did do an ad lib take. We will probably post it at some point. We will absolutely do bloopers. We have been recording bloopers this entire time. You will get to hear whatever I do whenever I fuck up a line. It's great. It's a lot of fun. I think I'm funny.
Oh, I believe we are just about out of time and questions, but thank you both for doing your contractually obligated Storytime episode. No, we don't have contracts. None of this is.
I have well, the only one of us has a contract is B, and he already got his contract. He got to write the D&D adjacent episode.
Yes. I think less contract, more demand, I think, from
Demand,
B.
yeah.
But yeah, episode 7 of Realm Jumper, if I can find the episode up, it's okay. We wrote it down.
We did. It's plot relevant pizza.
Yes, episode 7, plot relevant pizza comes out on, if I can find,
August 12th.
August 12th.
Yes, August 12th. How did I lose it? God dang it. Episode 7, plot relevant pizza comes out August 12th. Thank you both for joining me, and see you next time.